In the heart of Africa, under the mango trees, lived a little girl named Amara, loved deeply by her parents, surrounded by laughter, prayer, and joy. But when tragedy struck, she lost everything, and the world she knew turned cruel. Adopted by those who despised her, mocked and beaten, her suffering only deepened when they forced her into marriage with a poor blind man, a union meant to destroy her. Yet destiny had other plans. For this blind man was not what he seemed. He was a secret billionaire, searching for a love that money could never buy. This is Amara's story, a tale of betrayal, resilience, and destiny. Stay with us, and if you haven't already, subscribe now so you don't miss a single twist. Amara chased butterflies across the compound, cowries jingling in her braids. Her father laughed, lifting her high. One day, you'll fly farther than these wings. Her mother spread food on the raffia mat, jollof, roasted yam, garden eggs. Come eat, my jewel. Amara clasped her coral bracelet. Mama, will we always be this happy? Her mother drew her close. Happiness is a seed we've planted in you. Guard it. Her father pressed a kiss to her forehead. And share it with the world. Under the mango tree, laughter mingled with evening drums, echoing love that felt unbreakable. After supper, her father carved a tiny drum from wood. For you, Amara. Beat your stories to the world. She tapped it, laughter spilling. Her mother braided her hair by lantern light. Every braid is a prayer. What prayer, Mama? That you'll never forget love, even when the world is harsh. Her father's voice filled the hut. Let us pray. They knelt. Guide her, Lord. Make her strong. Amara whispered, Amen. Her bracelet glimmered in the glow, as if sealing the promise. Morning light spilled into the compound. Mama, more honey. Amara giggled, lips sticky with pap. Her father chuckled. If you take too much, bees will chase you. They all laughed, joy bouncing against the mud walls. Later, under the mango tree, her mother told tales of queens who rose from nothing. Greatness comes from kindness, she said. And courage, her father added. Amara nestled between them. I will be both. They held her close, and in that moment, the world felt safe, like love itself had built walls around her. The crash came sudden, tearing the night. By dawn, drums beat low in the village square. Two coffins lay side by side. Amara clutched her bracelet, eyes burning. You said I must guard joy. Her mother's scarf lay folded on one coffin, her father's drum on the other. She pressed her forehead to the earth. Don't leave me. Aunt Ngozie's sharp voice cut the air. Enough tears. Stand up. Uncle Pius pulled her away. That night, Amara stared at the stars, alone. Love had left, and the world turned cold. Life shifted overnight. Aunt Ngozie's eyes were hard. No more idleness. You'll work. Uncle Pius muttered, food isn't free. Amara bent over floors, scrubbing till her bracelet clinked against the bucket. At the market stall, children mocked her faded wrapper. Bread girl, they jeered. Her heart ached, but she smiled, selling with quiet dignity. That evening, she whispered into the dark, Mama, Papa, I'll endure. Her aunt's cane cracked the floor beside her. Silence. Amara touched her bracelet gently. She knew love was gone, but its memory burned inside her like a secret flame. Why so slow? Aunt Ngozi snapped, slapping the broom from Amara's hand. Uncle Pius counted coins at the doorway. You've wasted groundnuts again. Amara bent quietly, picking them one by one, coral bracelet glinting faintly. Her wrapper was faded, her scarf loose, yet her eyes carried fire. Children laughed at her hands blistered from scrubbing. She only whispered, I'll endure. That night she traced words in dust on the floor, imagining newspapers and microphones. The dream was a whisper inside her chest, strong enough to keep her upright. Amara carried bread on her head, wrapper clinging with sweat. Bread girl. Some youths mocked, laughing at her torn slippers. She ignored them, coral bracelet glimmering as she steadied the tray. An old man called, Daughter, give me half a loaf. She smiled, slipped him extra without charge. Eat well, Baba. He blessed her. Kindness will never forsake you. Amara's lips trembled, but she smiled through it. Behind her, Aunt Ngozie's hawk-like eyes were watching, calculating every kobo. On her way back from the stream, Amara saw a tall man standing by the roadside, cane tapping lightly. Excuse me, can you help me cross? His voice was calm but uncertain. She balanced her pot, then stepped closer. Yes, sir. Hold my arm. His hand was steady yet gentle. Thank you. Amara guided him across the dusty lane, curious about his dark lenses and simple kaftan. You walk with courage, he said softly. I only walk because I must, she replied. He tilted his head, listening as if memorizing her voice. Neither knew destiny had begun its work. You're not from here, Amara observed as they reached the shade of a neem tree. No, I travel, to learn people, Lekin answered. She placed her pot down. Did you find kindness today? He turned slightly toward her. Yes, in your voice. Her cheeks warmed, though she said nothing. A shout cut through the air. Amara, stop wasting time. Aunt Ngozi's sharp tone echoed from the path. Amara lifted her pot quickly. I must go. Lekin's lips curved faintly. I will not forget you. That night, Amara sat by her small mat, tracing letters on scraps. Her bracelet lay against the paper as she whispered. He said I had courage. Aunt Ngozi stormed in. Dreaming again? Tomorrow, more chores. Amara lowered her gaze, hiding her smile. Somewhere beyond the village, Lekin sat in silence, fingers brushing his cane. She is different, he murmured to himself. For the first time in years, Amara slept with hope in her chest, not just endurance. Fate had sown its seed. Neither knew how fast it would bloom. Ngozi folded her arms, lips curling. She thinks she's better than us. Uncle Pius nodded. Then let her marry suffering itself. Ngozi's eyes gleamed. That blind man, always wandering, always begging. He wants a wife. Amara overheard only fragments, but her heart grew cold. Auntie, please, don't throw me away, she whispered. Ngozi spat. You are not our child. Tomorrow, prepare. Amara's bracelet pressed hot against her wrist, as though her mother's blessing still whispered hope. At the well, women gossiped. Did you hear? Ngozi is marrying her to the blind man. Another laughed cruelly. How will she eat? He has nothing. Amara lowered her bucket, cheeks burning, but she kept her silence. A girl muttered softly, she doesn't deserve this. Amara smiled faintly, though her eyes shimmered. It's all right. But her heart broke. Every step back home felt heavier than the pot on her head. Evening shadows stretched long when Aunt Ngozi called sharply. Come, Amara. Greet your husband-to-be. Amara's heart thudded as a tall figure stepped in, cane tapping, dark lenses on his eyes. Her breath caught. It was him, the man she had once helped at the roadside. You, she whispered. His lips curved gently. We meet again. Ngozi clapped her hands. Perfect. She will serve him forever. Pius smirked. Blind husband, useless wife. A fitting pair. Amara's chest ached, but deep inside, a memory of his gratitude flickered like a faint light. Drums beat slow and heavy. Villagers gathered, whispering cruel jokes. Blind man's bride, someone sneered. Amara stood in coral beads and a simple wrapper, head bowed. Ngozi hissed, smile. Even goats look better than this. The elder raised his staff. Do you take him? Lekin's calm voice answered. Yes. Amara's lips trembled. Yes, she whispered, clutching her bracelet. Some laughed, some pitted. Her heart sank, yet her mind whispered. He was kind before. Perhaps kindness remains. That night, Amara sat outside the small hut they now shared, her eyes on the moon. Her chest felt hollow. You're silent, Lekin said softly, cane resting across his knees. I had no choice, she replied, her voice cracking. Nor did I, he said. He turned toward her, lenses catching lantern glow. But I remember your kindness. She looked at him for the first time. Why me? Because you gave bread to an old man, and you held my arm when I could not see the path. That is enough. Her heart softened, though fear still lingered. The hut was silent, save for the crickets outside. Amara sat by the wall, eyes lowered, coral bracelet glinting faintly. Lekin leaned on his cane, voice gentle. I know you didn't choose me. Amara stiffened. It wasn't my will. I will never take what you do not give, he said softly. Your heart is your own. She glanced at him then, surprised by his patience. For the first time since the wedding, she felt her chest loosen, just a little. She whispered, Thank you. Lekin smiled faintly, though his eyes remained hidden behind the dark lenses. The next morning, Amara rose to fetch water. Let me help, Lekin offered. She frowned. You can't see. He chuckled softly. But I can carry. Together they balanced the pot between them, laughter breaking the silence for the first time. At home, she cooked yam porridge. "Sit," he said, tapping the bench. "Eat with me." Her heart trembled. No one had asked her to share a meal since her parents. She sat, quiet, but for once she smiled. That evening, Amara lit the lantern and sat on her mat. Lekin rested nearby, hands folded on his cane. He broke the silence gently. "I will wait until you see me as a man, not a burden." Her eyes widened, shocked by his honesty. "I've only known force," she admitted, voice low. "Then no patience," he replied. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was soft, almost tender, like the slow opening of a flower. A week later, Lekin said quietly, "Pack your things." Amara blinked. "Why? Where are we going?" "To the city," he answered, standing tall with his cane. Ngozi sneered as they left. "Blind and poor. You'll suffer." But Amara only adjusted her scarf, coral bracelet firm on her wrist. At the edge of the village, a convoy of black SUVs waited. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" Lekin removed his lenses slowly. His gaze was sharp, steady, alive. "I am not what they told you," he said. Amara gasped, her heart racing. The world around her shifted. The city stretched wide, glass towers glittering under the sun. Amara's lips parted as the convoy pulled into a vast compound. A marble mansion rose before her, fountains dancing, cars gleaming in rows. Domestic staff hurried forward, bowing. "Welcome, madam." Her knees weakened. This can't be mine." Lekin touched her hand gently. "It is ours, and I will never treat you as less." Tears filled her eyes. "All my life, I was nothing." He whispered, "To me, you are everything." And for the first time in years, Amara's heart chose hope. Marble floors gleamed beneath her bare feet as Amara entered the mansion. The staff bowed. "Welcome, madam." She smiled nervously. "Please, call me Amara." A maid gasped at her humility. "No madam has spoken to us so kindly." Amara touched her bracelet. Respect is not bought with gold, it is shared. In the grand hall, Lekin watched silently, a smile tugging at his lips. He leaned closer. "They already love you." Amara whispered, almost to herself. "Maybe love can be rebuilt." The wardrobe sparkled with gowns heavy in jewels. Lekin lifted one. "Wear this tonight. It will make the world bow." Amara smiled softly. "I would rather wear something simple." He frowned, then laughed. "You truly are different." That evening, she stepped into the dining hall in a plain Ankara gown, her bracelet shining brighter than diamonds. The staff whispered, "Our madam is humble." Lekin watched her quietly, his respect deepening. One morning, Amara wandered the east wing. Behind tall doors, she discovered a studio, blank canvases, paints, brushes untouched. Her breath caught. She dipped her fingers into blue, streaked it across white. Memories rushed, her parents' laughter, the night of loss, the bread she once sold. Tears fell onto the canvas, blending with the paint. Lekin entered silently, watching her hand move with grace. "You paint," he murmured. Amara turned, embarrassed. "It's nothing." "It is everything," he said softly. "This is who you are." At dinner, Amara wore another modest gown. Lekin leaned forward. "You could dazzle kings, yet you choose simplicity." She met his gaze. "Jewels don't paint hearts. Simplicity keeps me free." The staff served silently, exchanging smiles. They adored her. Only one pair of eyes glared. Chinyur, Lekin's secretary. Her nails tapped sharply against her glass. "She acts humble, but is it truly humility or a plan?" Amara's cheeks burned, but she kept calm. Lekin's voice was firm. "Respect her, Chinyur. She is my wife." Days turned to weeks. Amara painted daily, her modest gowns stained with colors. Staff gathered at the door, whispering in awe. "Her hands speak truth." One guard murmured, "No madam has treated us like family." Chinyur stood in the shadows, jaw clenched. "She will not outshine me." Inside, Amara finished a piece. A little girl in a yellow wrapper, cowries in her hair, holding a coral bracelet. Lekin entered quietly. His breath caught. "That is you." Amara's eyes softened. "It is my beginning, and now, maybe my purpose." Amara stood before the mirror, adjusting a navy blue Ankara gown with golden embroidery. Her hair fell in neat waves, small gold earrings glinting softly. The coral bracelet rested proudly on her wrist. Lekin paused at the doorway. "You are elegance without effort." She turned. I only wish to look myself. You do, he said quietly. And more. Her smile flickered shyly. Downstairs, the staff whispered. She dresses rich, but walks gentle. A queen in humility. In the art studio, sunlight spilled across canvases. Amara wore a burgundy lace gown, sleeves rolled slightly as she painted. Gold bangles clinked gently against the coral bracelet, specks of paint marking them. She paused, lost in strokes of blue. Staff peeked in, enchanted. She paints like she prays, one maid whispered. Chinyur's eyes narrowed from the corner. A servant pretending to be a queen. Amara wiped her hands and smiled at the staff. Thank you for watching. This work is for all of us. The staff bowed deeply, loyalty written across their faces. At dinner, Lekin raised his glass. To my wife, whose hands create beauty. The staff clapped lightly, proud. Chinyur forced a smile. Yes, but what does art feed? Amara's eyes softened. It feeds the soul. Even in hunger, stories keep us alive. Her words silenced the table. Lekin's gaze lingered on her with quiet pride. Chinyur's nails dug into her palm under the table. She will not shine brighter than me, she whispered inwardly. The gallery lights dazzled. Canvases lined the walls, children with baskets, women at wells, fathers beneath mango trees. Amara, in a flowing emerald gown with gold trim, stood beside her work, coral bracelet gleaming like her signature. Critics whispered, her art breathes Africa itself. A journalist asked, who are you painting for? Amara smiled softly. For the forgotten. For the child I once was. Lekin's hand brushed hers lightly. The world will remember you. Her eyes shimmered. For once, she believed him. Back at the mansion, Amara sat on the balcony, moonlight bathing her. Lekin joined her, dressed simply. You changed tonight, he said. Amara's gold earrings caught the silver light. No, I just remembered who I always was. He smiled faintly. And who is that? A girl who lost everything, but found her hands again. He reached gently, not touching yet. When you're ready, Amara, I will be here. Her heart swelled, not with fear, but with a new tenderness she had not known in years. Late evening, Amara painted in silence, her coral bracelet smudged with colors. From the doorway, Chinyur's voice cut through. Your paintings are childish strokes. Do you think the world applauds pity? Amara's hand stilled, brush trembling. She smiled faintly. They are not for the world. They are for truth. Chinyur stepped closer, nails glinting. Truth doesn't win power. Men do. Unseen, Lekin stood at the hall's edge, jaw tight. He said nothing, only watching the storm gather between his wife and his secretary. The next day, Chinyur cornered Lekin in the corridor. She is using you, she said, voice dripping. She paints for sympathy, not art. Lekin adjusted his watch calmly. And yet the people love her. She will outshine you, Chinyur hissed. He smiled faintly. Then I am blessed to walk beside her light. Chinyur's face darkened. You'll regret this loyalty. What she didn't know, a maid hidden behind the curtains had heard everything, her heart racing to warn Amara. Amara entered the studio to find her latest painting slashed across the canvas. Her almond eyes filled with tears. Who would do this? The staff gasped, rushing in. Chinyur strolled in smoothly. Careless hands ruin beauty. Perhaps it wasn't meant to be. Amara swallowed hard. Even broken strokes speak truth. She picked up her brush and began painting on the torn canvas, her bracelet glowing in defiance. The staff rallied, whispering, Our madam is unbreakable. From the shadows, Lekin's lips curved, proud of her courage. Later, in the kitchen, Chinyur whispered to staff, She treats you like friends, but you are servants. She will forget you when fame swallows her. The cook frowned. No, Madame Amara eats with us. She listens. The guard added firmly. She remembers our names. Chinyur sneered. Fools. She is playing a role. Unseen, Amara stood at the door, heart trembling. When she entered, the staff rushed to her side. We stand with you, madam, the cook declared. Amara's almond eyes filled with tears. She whispered, Then I will never let you down. At her second exhibition, the hall glittered with lights. Amara, in a royal purple gown with gold bangles and her coral bracelet, unveiled a new piece, a blind man guided by a girl at a village road. The crowd gasped. Symbolic. Chinyur, lurking by the wine table, hissed under her breath, Too perfect, too loved. As applause thundered, a waiter slipped a note into Amara's hand. She read silently, "Beware. Not all smiles are kind." Her almond eyes darted toward the crowd. Suspense gripped her chest. Late at night, Amara painted alone, gold bangles clinking against her coral bracelet. A sudden gust blew the lantern out. Darkness swallowed the room. Her almond eyes darted. "Who's there?" From the window, a whisper. "Leave the mansion, or be left in ruin." The curtain fluttered, then silence. Heart racing, Amara relit the lantern. A knife was pinned to her canvas. She clutched her bracelet, trembling. When Lekin entered, she hid her fear. "Just the wind," she lied. The next day, whispers spread through the city. "She didn't paint those works," a critic sneered. "She buys them and signs her name." Amara overheard, her heart heavy. Chinyur sipped wine nearby, smiling thinly. Rumors travel faster than truth. Lekin confronted her later. "They will not touch her." Amara's voice shook. "But what if they believe it?" He touched her shoulder gently. "Your art carries your soul. Lies cannot erase that." Still, she felt the ground under her shifting. Amara descended the marble staircase in a royal blue gown. Suddenly her heel caught. The railing had been greased. She gasped, body lurching forward. A guard rushed, catching her just before the fall. "Madam, are you hurt?" She clutched her coral bracelet, breath shaking. "No, but who did this?" From the corner, Chinyur watched silently, nails tapping glass. Later, Lekin examined the railing. His jaw clenched. "This was no accident." Amara whispered, "Someone wants me gone." The mansion's walls no longer felt safe. That evening, the staff gathered secretly in the kitchen. "She must be protected," the cook said firmly. "She treats us like family," a maid whispered. They agreed, eyes sharp, loyalty burning. When Amara entered, she was startled by their circle. "Madam, you are not alone," the guard declared. Her almond eyes shimmered. "You risk yourselves for me?" The maid smiled. "You gave us dignity. We will give you safety." For the first time, fear loosened its grip. Lekin entered his study to find a file left open on his desk. Inside, false contracts bearing Amara's name, forged to look like theft. He clenched his jaw. "So this is their game." Amara appeared at the door. "What is it?" He closed the file quickly. "Nothing you need to fear." But his almond-eyed wife caught the shadow in his face. Later that night, Lekin whispered to himself, "The snake in this house must be cut before it strikes again." Chinyur, in her room, stared at a mirror, whispering, "She will not take everything." Lekin's boardroom fell silent. On the table lay forged contracts. Amara's name scrawled across them in bold ink. "This cannot be true," a director muttered. Chinyur stepped forward smoothly, file in hand. "I warned you, sir. She is clever. Too clever." Lekin's jaw hardened. Amara does not steal. The men shifted uneasily. At that moment, Amara entered, dressed in a modest indigo gown, coral bracelet glinting. Her almond eyes darted at the papers. "Why is my name there?" she whispered. The silence weighed heavy, suspicion planted like poison. As Amara left the boardroom, whispers followed her. "She is a fraud," one staff muttered. "She bewitched him," another sneered. Amara held her bracelet tightly, forcing her almond eyes forward. In the corridor, a maid rushed to her side. "Madam, don't believe them." Amara's lips trembled. "If even he doubts me, what will remain?" From behind, Lekin's voice carried, "I do not doubt you." She turned, eyes wet. He added softly, "But I must expose the hand behind this." That night, in her room, Chinyur poured wine for a stranger cloaked in black. "She is breaking, just as we planned," she whispered. The man's deep voice replied, "Do not fail. If she survives this, she will rise too high." Chinyur smirked. "By the time we are done, Amara will beg to leave." Unseen, a young guard lingered near the door, hearing fragments of their words. His hands shook, loyalty or fear. When he left, Chinyur's eyes narrowed. "We may have another snake in the house." The mansion glittered with light. Guests in jeweled gowns gathered for a charity dinner, Amara's first to host. She stepped down the staircase in an emerald gown, coral bracelet glinting, almond eyes nervous yet proud. Suddenly, Chinyur stood near the stage with a folder. "Before we honor tonight's hostess," she said loudly, "we must speak of the truth behind her fortune." Gasps filled the hall. Amara froze, clutching her bracelet. Lekin's gaze turned cold, but he did not move. Not yet. Chinyur's voice cut sharp through the hall. Here are documents proving she siphoned funds meant for widows and orphans. Guests murmured, faces turning. Amara's almond eyes widened in horror. That is a lot. Lekin remained calm, his gold watch catching the light. He whispered to himself, show your hand fully. Chinyur smirked, waving the papers. Even your husband knows it. For the first time, doubt flickered in Amara's heart. But in the shadows near the stage, the loyal guard clenched his fists. He had overheard the plot. The moment of truth was drawing closer. The hall erupted in murmurs. Guests turned their jeweled faces away. Amara's almond eyes filled with tears. She clutched her coral bracelet, whispering, I did nothing wrong. Chinyur raised her voice. She fooled you all. A village girl in silks, feeding on pity. Lekin remained silent, studying her like a hunter watching prey. Amara's knees weakened, but a maid rushed, steadying her. Stand, madam, she whispered. Your truth shines brighter than lies. For a heartbeat, Amara drew strength. Yet the shame in the hall stung like fire. Chinyur turned toward Lekin, voice dripping. Say it, sir. Admit your wife is a fraud. The hall hushed. Amara's breath caught. If he spoke against her, she was finished. But Lekin only lifted his glass, eyes never leaving Chinyur. You reveal much tonight, he said softly. Chinyur frowned. So you admit. No, he cut in. I said you reveal much. Gasps rippled. Amara's heart pounded. Something in his tone promised a storm yet to break. The young guard stepped forward, voice shaking but strong. I cannot stay silent. I heard her, in her chambers, plotting with a stranger. She swore to ruin Madame Amara. Gasps thundered. Amara's almond eyes widened. You heard this? The guard bowed. With my own ears. Chinyur's face twisted. Lies from a servant, but the staff surged forward. We all know Madame's kindness, the cook declared. The hall turned, whispers shifting, eyes narrowing at Chinyur. For the first time, her smirk faltered. Lekin rose at last, voice cold as iron. Chinyur, you came here to destroy my wife. But truth will always burn through lies. He flung the forged contracts on the table. Ink smudged, fresh this week. Not 10 months ago, as you claim. Gasps erupted. Chinyur stumbled back, fury twisting her face. But before guards could seize her, she cried, You don't know who I serve. You don't know the power behind me. Her words sent chills through the hall. Whispers of something darker stirred the air. Suddenly, the mansion doors burst open. The stranger in the black cloak strode in, eyes glinting. Enough, he thundered. She is only a messenger. The true game has just begun. Chinyur dropped to her knees, trembling. Forgive me, master. Gasps shook the hall. The staff drew back in fear. Amara clutched her bracelet, heart racing. Lekin stepped before her, shielding her. But the cloaked man only smiled darkly. Enjoy your victory tonight. Tomorrow, the empire you love will burn. The hall froze in terror. Amara's story was no longer just about survival. It was war. She had conquered cruelty. She had silenced envy. She had begun to stand tall beside a man who loved her with patience and respect. But just when it seemed her battles were won, the mansion doors burst open. A darker enemy revealed himself, and the truth struck like thunder. Her suffering had only just begun. The secretary who envied her was only a shadow. The lies, the sabotage, the betrayal, all were part of a greater war now unfolding. This is no longer survival. This is war. Part 2 of Amara's journey is coming. Subscribe now, so you'll be the first to witness what happens next.